What was the game that got you into gaming? I'm sure we all played games before we truly fell in love with games, and just didn't realize it yet. I myself played the original Super Mario Bros. On NES, Sly Cooper, Jack and Daxter, Ty the Tasmanian Tiger, and a host of other games, but never truly fell in love with the medium up to that point. Not until one fateful day when my neighbor bought this brand new game. It was a fusion of Final Fantasy and Disney. I'm, of course, talking about Kingdom Hearts. This is the story of how I fell in love with the medium of gaming. We used to play games together a lot. We would take turns every 30 minutes or so, handing off the controller, and even making a fun game of it, trying to put the other in a difficult situation. We were kids, it was funny. Anyway, she got this new game and really wanted to play it with me, so I went to her house and she put the disc in. Before even starting the game, I was intrigued. The cover was dark, unlike anything I'd seen to this point. The main characters were hanging out on a statue, with a white-haired boy holding a curved spiked sword, and a spiky-haired boy holding a giant key, all with a heart-shaped moon in the background. Everything I'd seen up until this was colorful and implied nothing dark, but there was something about this cover that drew me in. Something that, to this day, over 20 years later, I still can't fully explain my attraction to. We start the game and it's beautiful. There's a reason that at the start of each of my Everything Great About Kingdom Hearts videos, Dearly Beloved is always a win. My grandfather taught my mother the art of appreciating music. Music with a full orchestra backing, rather than a handful of instruments and a vocalist. She in turn taught me the same thing. To this day, video game OSTs are a favorite of mine, just for the stories they can tell, and how some of them you can feel the composer put their heart and soul into making these pieces. So, we start the game, and the first thing I hear is the piano of Dearly Beloved playing. She goes to start the game, and I ask her to stop because I want to hear just for a little longer. Then came the next piece of music. Simple and clean, but the orchestral version. To this day, it is one of the most lovely and romantic pieces I've ever heard. It still fills me with this feeling of love and appreciation for the series. It still makes me tear up and be filled to the brim with emotion. On top of the wonderful music, it also shows flashes of what's to come, and it all looks so cool. So fun. And the poem that goes with it. Oh my gods, the poem that goes with it all. Thinking of you wherever you are. We pray for our sorrows to end, and hope that our hearts will blend. Now I will step forward to realize this wish. And who knows, starting a new journey may not be so hard, or maybe it has already begun. There are many worlds, but they share the same sky. One sky, one destiny. It's something that's not paid off until one of the sequels, but it's there. Now. It's genuinely one of the most beautiful things I've ever read, and I even said this as part of my wedding vows. It perfectly sums up my feelings towards my wife, and I have this game to thank for it. Moving on, we get to the actual start of the game. The first thing we see is the words. I've been having these weird thoughts lately. Like, is any of this for real or not? There's a power behind these words, just like with a lot of others that are permanently seared into my head. We're met with this fever dream of an intro, with Simple and Clean playing, Sora's dream unfolding, Riku outstretching his hand, Sora watching himself fall into the ocean, and ending up on a stained glass column, the Station of Awakening. It's, to this day, one of the most memorable introductions to a game I've ever seen. Next, we move through the tutorial, the Dive into the Heart. Just the name, Dive into the Heart, evokes a beauty that, again, I don't feel there's a proper way to describe it. We're met with choices that don't seem like they do a whole lot, but we're choosing our own path and our growth through the game. From choosing weapons that determine how we get our abilities, to answering questions that affect the way we level and grow. There's a mysterious voice guiding us the whole time, and we're being attacked by literal shadows. There's so much mystery surrounding what's going on, and it raises more questions than it answers. What will eventually become a staple of the series. I loved every minute. We eventually get to a point where our shadow grows the closer we get to the light, and we fight a monstrous being known as Darkseid. The closer you get to the light, the greater your shadow becomes. Our dark half that festers and waits to overcome us should we be careless, and let ourselves slip to the dark. A bit of foreshadowing for the fate of a dear friend. At the end of the sequence, we're left with this message. But don't be afraid. You hold the mightiest weapon of all. So don't forget, you are the one who will open the door. Powerful words that are the catalyst and endpoint of our journey. We wake to an island. Turns out it was all a dream. But it felt so real. Was it? Sora ponders as much before Kairi brushes him off. Riku walks up, boasting he's the one doing all the work as per usual. The boys get into a race, and we finally see it. The title card. Kingdom Hearts. And the rest is history. Kingdom Hearts is unequivocally my favorite series of all time. There's lots of things I can point to that I love about it, but nothing that I can definitively say why I love it. Maybe it's the darker aspect of things. Maybe it's because I played it during part of my formative years and it just stuck. Who knows? I know that I love the series no matter what, and there's nothing that can change that. It, pun intended, holds a special place in my heart for all the blending it does to make an imperfectly perfect story. Now I have a task for you. Make a video of your own. Let another YouTuber know so they can make a video. I want to know why you love games, and what made you fall in love with them. I'm putting together a master playlist, so if you do make one, be sure to let me know in the comments below. There's too much negativity surrounding gaming, and I mean to dispel that cloud. Games are wonderful and fun, and I think we could all stand to appreciate them just a bit more. Thank you for watching, and try not to die out there.